is Sela Ajay, popularly known as Efo Sela. I'm a multidisciplinary artist based in Accra, Ghana.
Now my recent artworks are very, very abstract and very deeply spiritual because of my immersion into Vodou art and aesthetics. I also include a lot of Vodou symbolism in my work. So I use a lot of vivid symbols apart from all these abstract dripping, soak staining techniques and all that. I'm also heavily influenced by Vodou symbolism, so I embed a lot of Vodou symbolisms in my work. The reason why I chose this title, Zadokeli, was to create this visual metaphor, right, of alluding to darkness and then a grim social experience that Black people had to endure during the 2020 pandemic. This is the largest body of work I've ever created for a solo exhibition. There are about 70 works, so I think Edwin is going to have a hard time, choosing which works will show and which ones will not show, because they are all very powerful works. So I've always been an artist as far as I can remember from my kindergarten days, and we grew up in an era where we enjoyed a lot of art and craft, right? There were so many things we could explore and do with our hands. So I remember when I was in kindergarten, we had a specific time for art and crafts where we just did stuff with our hands, right? We created fluffy balls out of plastic bags. We did doodling and scribbling and all those things. But I personally took an interest in art because I realized that I was gifted with creative skills. So I used to draw. I remember I used to draw a lot from the storybooks that I read, and I had my own scrapbook where I'll stick pictures in and use them as reference material. So when my parents buy me storybooks, I draw some of the illustrations from these books. So art has always been a part of me, and I used to be that guy that the science teacher will come and call to draw the plants and label the parts, or an animal and label the parts, or the human body, because everybody knew Sela was the artist and Sela is the one who can do a good job. And this generally informed my professional path because when I went to high school, I studied visual art. When I went to the university, I pursued a degree in art. So it's been a part of me. I've always been an artist, and interestingly, I wanted to pursue a degree in painting and sculpture in KNUST, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, but then for some reason I was offered communication design. So I remember I used to run away from my class and sneak into the painting and sculpture class because we were just close to each other, right? So I remember, we had very famous artists in university way back at the time, Elkanah, Michelachi and Jeremiah Kwashi. Like, they used to be the gurus, and we'll go and observe how they paint and all that. So there's always been that connection, between arts and my personal career path.